Hey everybody, this is Joel. I'm down at Boom Comics in Topeka, Kansas on a rainy Friday afternoon to introduce Dryden Apoc. I'm going to start with just a little bit of an introduction to the Dryden experiment for folks that aren't familiar with us and how we do the things that we do. So sorry for those of you who already know who we are, but just a little bit of background. The way the Dryden experiment came to exist came out of this sort of frustration about the buying and selling of rights. In the modern market, whether you're talking about books or video games or art or really anything, there is tremendous access to the market that there just never was before. For example, an author can go out and put a book through a vanity press using CreateSpace or Smashwords or Lulu or any of those guys, can put a book in the market literally overnight. And that's just really phenomenal, and it didn't used to exist. It didn't used to be that way. And it's a tremendous opportunity for creative folks. Gamers can get into the Android market very, very easily as well. Video game designers. There's a whole lot of access to the market that just wasn't there before. The problem with that is that when you drop yourself into the market like that, without the sort of support that one of the big 5 publishing houses can give you, you just disappear. There are 12 million books on Amazon right now. And I can tell you for a fact that if you hit the market with nothing but your 10 best Facebook friends behind you, you get 10 sales. That's just the way the market works. So at the same time that there's a tremendous opportunity right now, there's really not a need for an author or an artist, a game designer, anybody to go to a big publishing house in order to get into the market. It's very, very hard to get visibility. So the Dryden experiment is a solution to that. And the Dryden experiment started out as a science fiction universe, and we're expanding beyond that now. But to give you sort of a historical perspective, about 3 years ago, I sat down and I wrote Faster Than Light Travel Rules, and I wrote a future of the history of the future, and I wrote some alien species, and I built what would be a very large science fiction universe, or at least the foundations of one. And I put the whole thing under the Creative Commons BYSA 4.0 license. And what that license says is that anybody is free to come in and work in the universe, build things, use our characters, use our environments, and they don't have to buy rights from us. They don't have to tell us that they're doing it. It's just free and available on the condition that they acknowledge that they got it from us and that they put the characters and environments and so on and so forth that they've created under the BYSA 4.0 license as well, right? So artists, authors, game designers started coming in and started working with us, and it's just been a phenomenal success. At this point, we are literally introducing entire empires into that science fiction universe. Greta Van der Roel this week published the first book that happens in an empire that she designed that's in the M24 galactic cluster, 20,000 years in the future. That happened just this week. Today I finished editing Big Damn Dryden, which is the role-playing game that is being put out by Owlman Press, which is taking their Big Damn sci-fi rule set and placing the Dryden universe over it. It's a fantastic product. We'll be beta testing it right here at Boom Comics in the coming months. We're just having this explosive growth. It's just phenomenal. It's really fantastic. And all of us who participate in the Dryden universe cross-promote each other, right? I'm Twittering Greta. Greta Twitters me. We all Facebook each other. We cross support, and it's so exciting. I mean, just the way we're growing, the access to the market that we're gaining. Everybody benefits from being a part of the universe. We all have this fantastically big universe, and nobody ever sells out to one of the big 5 publishers. We just stay independent and get as big as we are willing to invest, and it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. We're having a great time. I can't say enough good things about it. Well, the problem that we've run into is that there are a lot of folks out there that don't write sci-fi. And the feeling is like that the Dryden principle should be available to every creative person on the planet who wants to develop in a cooperative environment. And certainly other folks are free to develop their own cooperatives. You don't have to work with Dryden. But we have started now creating alternate genres instead of just the science fiction genre. Last week we started Dryden Steam, and this week we're starting Dryden Apoc, which is the apocalypse. We're going to build exactly the same model. We're laying out foundational material. I'm not actually writing it this time. Laura Conrad, who is an author in Canada, has a book called Lorelei, You'll Never Die that will be going to press in August, that will be set in the Dryden apocalypse, in Dryden Apoc, and will be sort of the foundational document. But other folks who like apocalyptic material, who love Mad Max, who loved A Boy and His Dog, who loved any of those sort of post-apocalypse stories from whatever environment you found them in, movies or books or whatever, are welcome to come in, and we're going to start building a shared universe for people with the apocalypse. We haven't even set the year. It's not too far in the future when the great apocalyptic war breaks out. We know that there was a chemical warfare element. We know that there was a germ warfare element. We know that there were nuclear bombs released during the course of this war, and we now have survivors struggling. And this is my personal invitation to you to come in and read. We'll get you a copy of the materials that we have so far. Laura's book will be available for purchase soon, and we're going to set up a Facebook page, which will be the very next thing I do after I finish this video, and then we'll also set up a WordPress blog, and we'll start gathering information on the apocalypse. The links to all of those will be below. And we are going to build a shared apocalyptic nightmare for everybody to work together and build in, just like we've done successfully with Dryden Sci-Fi. Okay, that's a very brief introduction. What you need to do now is you need to get into the links below, find the material that's already out there, do some reading, get familiar, and then send me an email, contact me on Facebook, Twitter me, whatever, and let me know that you're interested in being a part of the apocalypse. My email is drydenexperiment@yahoo.com. That's drydenexperiment. It goes on forever, at yahoo.com. All right, I'm Joel. This is Boom Comics. Welcome to the apocalypse.